Hi, and welcome to another Sunday in the office. And on today's episode, I could have told you about the Mimaki, how well it does, how good it prints, or maybe how expensive it is, how difficult it is to operate such a machinery, or maybe perhaps I could tell you about a digital printer, the Konica Minolta that we have, now have. Or I could tell you how I'm suing somebody. But instead, I think I'll be better telling about how we're about to lose our business. Most or bulk of the orders within our business does come from eBay. As you are also aware, quite possibly, that during November and December there was a huge disruption within the mailing system, as in any system. The Hermes, UPS, DPD did a bit better, Royal Mail suffered a lot, and we were no exception. And as a result of that, we are currently suffering a major hit. Unlike the most of the videos I presume you're able to observe, I don't think there are too many of them who will actually show or display this side of the business, where you have to worry about actually paying your staff, where you have to worry about getting your orders, and you actually face business liquidation potentially if you do not figure out a way of dealing with this sort of situation. So let me proceed with explaining what the current situation is, what are my steps of trying to deal with it, and hopefully with an update followed shortly to see if we are able to get through it. I'll start with saying that we've registered for VAT back last year, roughly in October maybe. So that has driven our profit margins even more into the ground. Well, not entirely, but for some products it did prove to be either break even or a small loss. I might make a video explaining why we do want such products and why do we keep such products. But on to the current matters. After the VAT, we also, somewhere in that region of time, we also hired another member of staff. So the office is currently full with not at the moment, but on typical workday business hours, if you will. As a result of all of this, the amount of funds the business has to its name that it's able to allocate for certain needs did shrink. And as of January 21st or 20th even this year, our main eBay account has received below standard rating. For the most part, there's quite a few things that happen when you become a below standard seller. But the two most important things for us that resulted in a more than 80%, that's 80% sales plummeting. So we are receiving about up to 20% sales that we would normally have, were two major factors. One of them being that you get less visibility on your listings and you are not able to promote pay eBay for advertising, so sponsored listings. You aren't able to promote your listings. To the best of my knowledge, the only way that somebody is able to currently purchase from us is if they manually find our eBay account, they look through our items for sale and they purchase something. The only other way would be if they have already purchased something from us and they are pressing the button to buy the same item again. What led to this situation where our account was deemed below average? If you're unaware that there is only 3 ratings that you can have as a business seller on eBay. That's eBay top rated, which we were stripped when our late delivery rate failed by 2 orders out of, at that month when we were stripped, out of 4,136 sales, 38 of them were overdue, not delivered on time, so we were stripped of our top rated eBay seller listing. So we became the second possible title name on the eBay, which is above average. And finally there's the third one, and the only other that's possible. There's no middle ground, there's below average. So top rated, above average, below average. So we got our below average sales rating, seller rating, due to transactions closed without sellers, can't recall the exact name, but basically a buyer opened the case, we haven't done anything about the case, the buyer escalated the case to eBay, eBay closed the case in buyer's favor, and that's a defect. If I recall right, we got 18 of them out of whatever the other the total amount of sales that we've got. As you already know, as a result of that, our sales have plummeted by quite a large amount. Obviously 80% is fairly significant. More to that is that the rating is evaluated on 3-month basis, and this involves for January it did involve October, November and December, and the worst case scenario happens in November and December, and as such, even in February, when it will be November, December and January, it still is it is still to be a below average seller rating. This means that for now and at least the next month, so for 2 months, and the evaluation is on 20th, so at least for 2 months from today, from now, roughly now, we won't be able to sell, promote our listings, and we are only able to sell if somebody has purchased from us, basically barely getting any money. This will lead to us not having even barely sufficient amount to keep running the business, to have the employees to pay the wages or the company bills, and as a result of this, the company might go into liquidation. If you watched our other videos, you'll probably know that we do sell on other platforms as well. However, the majority of our sales do come from eBay still, despite me saying back in the day that we will try as much and to move to both other platforms and independent platform of our own, which has not happened as of yet, and obviously now we're suffering from that. What can be done to mitigate the effect of this? Out of the 18 cases that have been closed without the seller's input, if you will, what happened was customer of ours opened the case of item not received instead of speaking to us directly. We've replied within a day or two. We've replied with a question to their case with have the items been delivered as of date. Buyers, instead of speaking to us, obviously they've simply escalated the case to eBay, which was automatically closed in their favor, for a single reason being that the items that they've purchased were of low value, and they did not have a tracking number. So Royal Mail second class, Royal Mail first class, regardless of that thing, it doesn't come with a tracking. It wasn't a parcel, it was a letters and large letters, but mostly letters anyway. So a result of that, technically, by the eBay's rules, policies and guidelines, even if we would to appeal, as we are unable to provide the proof of delivery, i.e. tracking number, there would be nothing that we could do, as the eBay would not find a sufficient grounds to believe that the item was actually delivered, and unless the buyer confirms that they have the items delivered, which, let's face it, they probably won't, the appeal would not be granted and the case would be closed for good with no options to appeal. Out of the 18 cases as well, some of them were for multiple orders. So let's say we would be selling something small like a name, a decal, which is a tiny small name, and the person would buy 3 of them, let's say, and all of 3 items wouldn't be delivered, so they would open the cases for all 3 of them, and that's 1 out of 18, 1 person, 3 cases, and that's even worse than just having 1 case not delivered. So what happens now? Do we just sit for 2 months and wait until everything we've built, we've done, will be, well, sent into liquidation? I mean, that's one choice that we have, is just leave everything be and see how it comes out, because obviously there's seemingly no other options. And obviously if you call to complain into eBay, they'll most probably tell you the same thing that they've already told me on numerous occasions when I've tried to dispute these cases in the past, where unless we've got a tracking number, there is nothing they can do, because we are neither they can able to see that the items have been delivered, or that we're able to prove that they actually received it, and unless the buyers say that they have received it, then there's obviously not too many choices. However, I've seen a glimpse of light, if you will, at the end of the tunnel. I've spent about half an hour on the phone with, well, 3 or 4 different people from eBay, and including the dispute team. I'm not sure what the proper name of the department is, but basically what they've said is, because this is a low value items, what could potentially be possible to be done is, if we are able to provide them with anything that proves that we actually dispatched the items, that there is a chance that we could at least appeal some of the items, some of the cases, and in order to get out of the below average seller rating, you'd have to have a below 0.3% of the defect rate, and we would only need to remove 1 or 2, maybe 3 transactions in order to actually achieve that. As you know, we do not ship our items using the traditional method of packing the items, going to post office and giving them the envelope with the stamp or whatever, and they are giving us proof of postage. That's not how it works with the business click and drop account with Royal Mail. And what we do is we're manifesting them. We're printing a prepaid or postage on account labels. We stick them to the envelopes and we dispatch them. So the only thing we have is the manifest. The manifest doesn't include any names, postcodes, anything. It bluntly includes the amount of items we've dispatched. But the batch list what is included in the manifest is available on Braille Mail, but that has to be linked to the separate orders. So by the end of the conversation of the first rep, or the first call, and the rep that ended up speaking with me in the end, they've requested for us to provide them all of the manifests regarding to them cases, all of the batches, batch records, labels, shipping labels, and what I did is I did the screenshots of the actual dashboard of the Braille Mail where it shows the items being dispatched, as in having the batch number, which means they have been manifested and dispatched. Otherwise there wouldn't be a batch number. eBay has provided us with a link to submit all of the documents. That turned out to be about 30 or 40 odd documents. The system, the link that they've sent us, only allowed us to send 10 files at a time, but I managed to upload them all. The only problem being, now the files alone, the files themselves, did not carry any connections with the cases, and obviously the option itself that we can try and remove the defects as a whole thing came from a rep, the eBay rep, your usual guy who would be receiving this email, I presume, would not be able to figure out what's going on. What ended up happening was we received answers for each and every single upload that I did. This is not the procedure you do. You must go here and appeal here, and then if you want to appeal the rating, you go here and you submit a dispute. It's a bunch of nonsense, and obviously for anybody who would look at this, they would just see someone trying to do something, but without the instructions and knowing what's going on. They wouldn't be able to figure out what's going on, and obviously they just sent a generic response back saying, listen, you're not doing this right, do this and that and whatnot. So I've called them up again. I managed to speak to someone finally, because the first guy obviously told me the same what the email did, about going there and doing that and doing whatnot. But I managed to speak finally with someone on the phone. He is able to see the whole picture, he's able to see the documents, he's able to see what the other customer reps have advised me to do to submit the documents and so on. So that supposedly has been escalated and somebody will look into that. I'm not exactly sure what will happen. I really hope that this could help to sort the things out. But it is a significant blow, if you will, that is affecting the firm majorly, in a major way. And unless this is sorted, we face a real threat of potentially facing a liquidation of the Garage Design Studio Limited as it is, and obviously that would be the very last thing that I want to have. Unfortunately, the size of the company at this stage, although it's nowhere near being big or something, the amount of funds that is required on month-to-month basis just to run the company and keep the employees and the lights on is over what I would be able to produce on my own. This will do for this episode of the Sunday in the Office. So hopefully you've had an inside perspective of what it is, how it is running a business on eBay. Well, mostly on eBay. And while this might not have been as entertaining to watch or to hear as random cat videos or somebody's playing with the snow or something. Hopefully you can learn on our mistakes. You will hopefully can gain some insight, knowledge, some understanding that will help you in whatever that it is that you are trying to achieve. As far as our things are going, I did not start this to give up, and there is no way I will let this go to the mercy of a Lady Fortune, if you will. And as such, I will try and do whatever I can in order to preserve everything we've accumulated and achieved so far, and hopefully I will be able to do so. So thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll meet you soon yet again.